Hello everybody. I wish you all a healthy, happy and prosperous new year. The final months of the year ended modestly positive with an index gain of 1.3% and therefore the year ended with a strong gain of 35.7%. Despite recording the first Omicron cases and the higher number of infections in Hanoi, Vietnamese investors, like probably all investors around the globe, continue to see the stock market as the best place to invest, with very few alternatives. After strong gains in previous months, we saw some profit taking in a few of our holdings, and combined with a slightly weaker Vietnamese dong against the US dollar, we ended the month minus 1.9% according to internal estimates. But we recorded the highest yearly gain since inception of plus 55.3%. Hi, my name is Andreas Vogelsanger. I'm the CEO of the AFC Vietnam Fund. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and switch on the notifications so you don't miss any new uploads. 2021 was quite a successful year for us, and I would like to provide you a quick update, but more importantly, the outlook of 2022. You see Sharpe ratio 4.1, so Sharpe ratio is a risk-adjusted return, so the higher the number, the better. We probably have one of the highest, if not the highest, Sharpe ratio in 2021 of all Vietnam funds. And combined with volatility, most funds had a volatility in the low 20s, so had we. 22.1% was our volatility. And performance in 2021 was 55.3% in our case, according to internal estimates. The official numbers should be out shortly, but that's around in that range, which brings us to an analyzed return since inception of 17.1%, or an overall performance since inception of 254.7%. Here you see how we performed versus the index and the ETF. ETF is the lowest line, the Van Eck ETF, which you can clearly see over a longer period of time. ETFs in Vietnam still don't perform very well. So the index is much higher than an ETF, and we significantly outperformed also the index, as you can see. Our valuations, nevertheless, are still very, very attractive. We have an average PE ratio of 11 times, and we think that PE ratio will go down to around 8.8 times in 2022. The market expects an earnings growth of around 20% for 2022, so things look fairly optimistic. So what's going to happen? Short term, we see currently a big economic stimulus package is being discussed in the government that should be shortly approved, and that will really have a big impact on the stock markets, because it's really targeted to small and medium-sized enterprises which suffered the most during the COVID crisis so far. But that really already set the scene at the beginning of the year that people are positioning themselves for that stimulus package, and it's quite a big event for Vietnam. FDIs, so foreign direct investments, continue to pour into Vietnam, especially with the manufacturing shift from China into Vietnam. And if I look at outlook in terms of GDP growth, Vietnam, according to Asia Development Bank, has still one of the highest growth for 2022. It's expected to grow 6.5%, which is much higher than Indonesia, Thailand, Philippines, or Malaysia. The Vietnamese dong, the currency, is expected to remain a stable currency going forward. It is so far one of the most stable currencies in Asia versus the US dollar, and we expect that to continue for the time being. So here you see one of the reasons why the stock market really boomed in 2021. We see a big inflow of new investors coming to the market. So new stock trading accounts were opened, around 1.5 million in 2021, significantly higher than 2020. But if I look overall, we have now 4% of the population has a stock trading account. So that's around 4 million for Vietnam, which is 4% is still much lower if I compare that, for example, with Taiwan, which has over 90% of the population has a stock trading account. So still ample room to grow. But this had, of course, an impact on liquidity. Liquidity was really quite high in 2021, and we expect that liquidity to remain high for the time being. Then this is the slide with the ADB forecast. On the left hand side you see 6.5% for Vietnam, which is the second last number or second last row, yes, that's actually already taking into account Omicron, which is mostly seen as a short-term risk. Let's hope the experts are right on that. And yes, the future will tell, but